Today is April 2nd, 2023, and this is the Tech Layoff Report for the month of March. If you thought February was bad, wait until you hear what happened in March. From bank collapses to layoffs showing no signs of slowing down, there is a lot of information here to process, so let's get right into it. The month of March has exceeded the layoffs of February. Among those companies, we have Amazon again announcing cuts of 9,000. This is in addition to Amazon layoffs in January of 18,000, making them the company that have laid off more people than anyone so far since this all started. At this moment, Amazon is desperately trying to increase their profit margins by shutting down experimental projects like their automated Amazon Go convenience stores in San Francisco, where you can just walk out with products and get charged without ever having to interact with a cashier. They have also pulled back on projects related to self-driving robots and delivery drones, and even Alexa. Something important to note, their biggest revenue generator, AWS, has seen profits drop due to client pullback by concerns of a looming upcoming recession. So naturally, Amazon is desperately trying to find ways to satisfy their shareholders. They are even going as far as increasing the percentage they take in sales for anyone who is selling on their platform. So much for battling inflation, because this will only increase prices of products sold by a third party. This is terrible news for anyone trying to start a business and wanting to use Amazon to sell their product, because this will only make the barrier for entry to start a small business more difficult. Moving on to Lucid Motors, the luxury EV company is laying off 18% of its workforce, proving that EV production is actually very difficult. And if you're struggling to produce a profitable EV in hard times, it's not going to be good for you. Lucid Motors, supposed competitor to Tesla, is bleeding money so fast that it's very unlikely layoffs will have much effect on their profit margins. I mean, look at these numbers. Good luck to Lucid Motors, but I doubt they'll be around if investors lose confidence in this company, because the investors are the only thing holding this company together at this moment. As for Meta, TrueUp has officially added Meta in the layoff report just as I said they would. Meta has cut another 10,000 jobs and announced to the remaining employees that they will be handing out quote-unquote more reviews and lower bonuses. I'm willing to bet that probably has something to do with a Facebook recruiter posting on TikTok that she was paid $190,000 a year to do nothing. Let's watch this now.
What did we do all day? That is a great question. When I was working at Meta and I was a recruiter and we weren't expected to hire anybody for the first 6 months, even the first year, this is something they tell you when you start. That really blew my mind. I was like, perfect, I'm just gonna ride this out for a year. Obviously I didn't make that, but you know. The expectations when you start is really that you're just learning and taking it all in because you're drinking from a fire hose. I hate that. I hate that phrase so much. But the most that we did, this is the crazy part, is we had so many team meetings. Why are we meeting? We're not hiring nobody. Just to hear how everybody else wasn't hiring anybody. And also, I was on a team where everybody was new, so none of us were hiring anybody. We were all just like trying to figure out things none of us knew the answers to. We would ask my boss, she'd be like, I don't know, because she was new too. I really miss it. I wasn't doing shit pretty much. That was nice. I miss those days.
I mean, $190,000 for a recruiter? Even if she was doing something, $190 while I bust my ass creating websites from scratch is kind of a lot, but whatever. This age of lazy-ass working is finally over, and I can't say we didn't see this coming. And it's not 100% the individual's fault, but it's also the company's fault for allowing this to happen. Things like this are a huge embarrassment to big tech. I mean, it really is. I'm sure she isn't the only one, and it's stories like this that make people really not care about layoffs in the tech industry. So apologies if I sound happy that we're at least leaning towards a place where we have to show for our work. May I remind you that I also got laid off too. Finally, in this layoff story, despite Meta and Amazon continuing their headcount reductions, there is a massive company that most of you have not heard of, which has just announced the most layoffs in a single month ever in the history of these tech layoffs. And that company is Accenture, an Irish-American third-party tech consulting company. They are laying off a whopping 19,000 in a single month, which surprisingly only accounts for 2.5% of the company. This comes when Accenture just reported $22 billion in quarterly revenue, which is a 13% increase year over year. Wait, 13% increase year over year. Their profits are increasing?
We just announced that our highest level of sales ever, $22 billion, and of record. So these are record sales with 35 clients with over $100 million in bookings.
They are actually doing just fine. Well, this is awkward. Anyway, congratulations, Accenture. You're the winner for highest layoff announcements for the month of March. You did it. For the month of March, here are the stats by notable companies with more than 500 layoffs. The total layoff count is 60,880. Combined with January and February, we have 217,158. Compare that with all layoffs of 2022 of 241,000, we can see that I am very sorry to say by the end of next month, I'm pretty sure we're going to surpass this. On the bright side, there are still jobs out there available. I don't want to be all completely doom and gloom. I have applied to 26 jobs and I have already received 2 interviews. It is not impossible, so please, if you are laid off, keep trying. In other news, I'm sure you have already heard by now, but we have a bit of a problem with our banking system.
The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, or SVB, almost caused a full-blown banking crisis.
Now to a developing story. After the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank on Friday, another bank just shut down. Regulators today abruptly closed Signature Bank. It has offices throughout New York and Connecticut. CBS 2's Lisa Rosner has more on how the feds are responding to protect deposits.
One day they were working just fine. Then on the next day, people who are holding their money at Silicon Valley Bank caught wind of something weird happening behind the scenes, which caused a run on the bank with everyone attempting to pull out their money, causing the failure. But was it the bank run that caused the failure, or was it that weird thing happening behind the scenes that convinced the depositors that they should pull out their money? Congress, at this very moment, is holding hearings to try and understand why Silicon Valley Bank failed. Of course, there already has been evidence of severe mismanagement within the organization. It has also been reported that they were warned about the risks involved with their investments while the federal government was increasing interest rates, but they ignored the warnings and continued their investments anyway. Ask for forgiveness instead of permission and wait for a bailout, I guess. When we see hearings like this, it usually indicates the start of new regulations. Since the financial collapse of 2008, the bigger banks had to abide by regulations learned by their quote-unquote mistakes. Yes, I am implying that they knew what they were doing, but smaller banks did not need to follow these same regulations. After these hearings, I'm sure that's going to change soon. These regulations will come in the form of stress tests in place for banks to make sure that they do not fail in the future. And a stress test to test for higher inflation like we are in now will be required after these hearings. These bank failures are causing a huge concern for the state of the economy. The federal rate hikes are also a concern. We have never in our history have had federal rate hikes increases at this pace. So to many people, it seems like more is about to break. There has been speculation that the Fed will make a complete U-turn and reverse the Fed rate hikes to boost the economy. I do hope they reverse or at least pause rate hikes for just a little bit, enough for the economy to get some breathing room and gain more confidence in the current market. You know, I hope this happens, but I'm not claiming to know anything. I just try to report what is currently happening, and what is happening right now is unlike anything we have seen before. And we are all just hanging back, waiting to see what happens next. Anyway, that's it for the layoff report. I am guessing by next month we will already have surpassed all layoffs of 2022. Only time will tell when these layoffs will slow down, or if another puzzle piece of the economy breaks down like these bank failures. Who knows? But I'll be here to keep track of it for you at the start of every month. Happy April. I hope to see you all on the next one. Good luck out there, everyone, and stay safe.